Hey, it's Eric again. So I wanted to do a separate video too about why am I awake so early? Why did I only get 4 hours of sleep? So now's a good time to talk about my mental health. I am diagnosed bipolar. It's in my bios, so I don't mind sharing it in video. It's not a new diagnosis. The symptoms aren't new. For a long time, I didn't even realize that my life experience involved symptoms of this type of disorder. I just thought the way that I lived and the way that my emotions were and the way that they manifested themselves was normal. And it is to an extent. I like being in touch with my emotions and expressing them. And I think that needs more attention and advocacy, especially with men, or those who identify as male or with male pronouns, however you want to look at it. Yes, I am an inclusive individual. I'm not meaning to dismiss that. Because toxic masculinity is real, and part of the struggle I had before I was diagnosed was thinking that the extremity of my emotions when they were when I was in a manic phase, or even when I was in a depressive phase, whenever I was exhibiting emotions that toxic masculinity would define as feminine, I had some identity issues with that, because I didn't feel feminine, but I was exhibiting things that people maybe would say man up and suck it up, and I internalized a lot of that, and it was very toxic for me and led me down towards my addiction, because my addiction to alcohol primarily, and some other substances along the way, started as a coping mechanism for some of the symptoms that I just thought were emotional issues that were unique to me, that I didn't know how to process, regarding nervous energy and fluctuating emotions. But anyways, I'm trying to keep this short. I'm not going to give another whole lightning drop. Some production issues. I had to edit and post, but what I was trying to say before the cut is that I want this post to be short. I already made a lengthy post and an intro post. I just want to introduce my mental health. So I'm a little manic. I'm experimenting with medicine changes, and reestablishing psychiatric care, because we need to follow professional guidance when it comes to treatment to mental health, for I would say 90% of individuals, if not more. There are some who experience most of their symptoms on the lower end of the severity spectrum, and they choose to treat themselves in a healthy way with healthy coping mechanisms. And some of that may involve substances that I choose not to use because of my addiction. And I don't judge them for that, because I do believe in medicinal use of illicit substances such as marijuana or certain psychedelics. But it's not for everyone, and it can be dangerous, and that even should be done, in my opinion, with the consultation of a professional. Armchair expert treatment is not something that was successful for me. It just stimulated my addiction and my addictive tendencies, and that's kind of what I was getting to. But I'm going through a manic phase because I'm trying to make changes for the better, because I was on the more severe scale of the spectrum in terms of feeling out of touch with emotions that I would consider are natural. And I'm at a point in my life with my 5+ years of sobriety, thank God, and my higher power, because they are different, in my opinion, for me. Anyways, thanks to my higher power, mostly in the community around me, I am stable in my sobriety and in my mental health, and I'm making changes for the better that involve medicine reductions. And as I go through those learning curves in terms of like the physiological impacts, my sleep is very erratic at times. So I try to rest often whenever possible, even if my mind isn't resting and I'm not physically, mentally sleeping. I'm usually not up creating content like this, but while I'm experiencing it, I want to document it so that others can see what it truly looks like, and so that I can reflect back on it for myself and sort of self-assess and use this content for my therapy and psychiatry providers to see what it looks like when I'm not in a session and I'm exhibiting symptoms. So that's that, and that's me, and that's my mental health, and you will hear more about it. But thank you for listening, and yes, thank you. Cheers. Take care.